Selling your business. Asset sale versus stock sale. If you're selling your business, you're probably going to get pushed down one of two major avenues in deal structuring. It's either going to be an asset sale or it's going to be a stock sale. Now, part of this will be determined by the size of your business. The bigger the business is, the more likely it's going to become a stock sale. The smaller the business, the more likely it's going to be an asset sale. I want to look at some of the fundamental differences so you can understand them. It might help you structure that next merger and acquisition. Maybe you're getting acquired. Maybe you're selling your business. Or maybe you're going to go out and acquire another company. Either way, you'll want to know the difference between these because there are some real differences, and it's something your lawyer probably spends a lot of time thinking about. Hopefully they'll advise you about it in the transaction. But it's good for you to know what you're walking into before you get there. So an asset sale is the sale of the assets of the business. So every business has assets. You may have equipment, you may have inventory, you certainly probably have some intangibles like goodwill, customer list, etc. So all of those assets can be transferred to another person. And what they'll typically want to do in an asset sale or an asset purchase is buy all the assets, but they want to leave all the bad stuff. They don't want the liabilities. They don't want the conditions. And in fact, that's one of the reasons a lot of people like asset sales. There's potentially a better opportunity to leave liabilities behind with the old company. What will typically happen is if you're buying the assets of XYZ LLC, you will pay XYZ LLC, and they will give you a bill of sale and title to their various goods and intangibles they're selling to you. It's a trade. And so XYZ company now has cash, generally, and then they can pay off their liabilities and distribute it. The buyer just gets the assets, which is generally what a buyer is really interested in. In a stock sale, what happens is the company stays together. All the assets and the liabilities of the operating business are generally in a business entity for most entities that are the size for a M&A transaction. So it's a corporation, LLC, rarely something else. That entity houses the assets, but it also has the liabilities, also has the business operations. In a stock sale or a membership interest sale, in the case of an LLC, the buyer buys the ownership of the company. And the container, the company, largely stays the same. So the assets and the liabilities are indirectly transferred to the buyer. Remember, the buyer's buying the stock or the membership interest. They're getting ownership of the company. They're not actually buying the assets of the company or the liabilities. Those are going to remain inside the company. What's going to change is who owns and who controls the company. Now, this can be a very powerful tool. This is much easier. Sometimes this prevents some contract issues because sometimes a change of control provision, or rather a party change to a contract, may be a problem. So if you assign a contract from one person to another, as would happen in an asset sale, maybe that contract opens up a exit clause. Smart contracts have the change of control provision, which is the next level. An asset sale versus a stock sale may not help change of control provisions that are well drafted, because if they know the control of the company is changing, they may give themselves an out. But the point being, you can build a container around everything so that you can just sell the business without having to go into transferring the assets and wrapping up the liabilities, and somebody can take over the whole thing as a one package. This usually makes sense for bigger companies. Now, both of these have different tax consequences, right? Whether it's a liquidation and sale or whether it's a sale of stock, the basis, the amount that you can offset from your payment. So usually it's payment minus basis of whatever is sold. That will probably be different, whether it's an asset sale or stock sale. So that's part of the negotiations, is what is the better tax outcome for each side. So you need to look at all of this stuff. That hopefully is a good starting point for you. If you have general questions just about business law, want to get more informed about stuff, go and drop them below. Obviously, this isn't the forum for attorney-client communications. Can't work specifically with you and your situation here over the internet, over a video sharing service. But if you have general questions, we can potentially work them up into future videos. For confidential communications, meet with an attorney of your choosing. I hope you'll choose to subscribe to the channel as well, because we'll have more tips and tricks coming for you. And we have a whole library of past videos which may be helpful to you. Thanks for tuning in today, folks. Look forward to seeing you for another video soon.